You guys are making a real significant investment, transition, migration from coal to solar, wind, alternative, greener forms of energy. Tell me what that whole Your Energy, Your Future campaign began as, and what does it really mean for the people that you're serving?
Well, 2018, we kind of came to a crossroads where we had some aging coal facilities. A lot of those coal facilities were being operated in a fashion in which they weren't originally designed, i.e. they were originally designed to turn them on, bring them up on load, and just let them run until it's time to go do maintenance. And then let them, and that could be days, weeks, months on end, right?
Yeah.
That they just would run. Well then, as we started to introduce more markets and market type of energy, that again, that's a whole other complex subject that we could cover sometime. But the reality is it's good for customers because it creates more of a competitive market for energy.
Yeah.
But what it did for these coal facilities was that as gas prices started to come down, the coal was less competitive because they had a higher fixed cost and a little bit higher variable cost. And so they would run up and down, more often, be off more often, and they're just not designed to do that. So you had a cost structure issue that was built to it. You were adding more environmental controls that cost money but didn't create electricity, right? Actually used electricity. So you just had all this sort of compounding issue that really, started with low natural gas prices and sort of the fall off from when fracking really took off and we were able to move gas and have cheap gas. And so as we did this analysis, what we figured, we sort of had this notion that the analysis was going to show that, hey, these select coal units need to retire and you need to build some gas to replace it. But as we wanted to be more transparent with this process and working with our regulators and others to bring more stakeholders in, have public meetings, get public input, one of the things that we always sort of had disagreement about over time amongst various groups was you use sort of these engineering study type numbers to say, here's what the cost of all these different forms of energy, whether it be nuclear, gas, renewable. And so we said, hey, look, we're going to eliminate that argument. We're going to issue a request for proposal for replacement generation, and we'll give them the criteria we need, and we'll see, who comes back with the best price, right? And so when we did that, we were quite surprised to see that from 2016, when we had run our last IRP, it used to be every 2 years, from 2016 to 2018, how the cost of renewables had reduced significantly. I mean, we're talking significantly, right? And so all of a sudden, a lot of these renewable assets were creating a significant cost advantage over time. Remember, these things last 30, 40 years. Significant cost advantage over time for customers. And so we said, hey, we got to pivot. We got to look at this differently. And so that was the beginning of it. And we've been able to move along that journey. We're almost on phase, we're sort of overlapping phase 1 and 2 now because we've had our 2021 IRP. But long and short of it is, we got 3 new wind facilities in service today. The last one just went in service in December, operating very well. We've kicked off the construction of some very large solar facilities. One of them is just in the shadows of our Schaefer facility down in Wheatfield. And the beauty of that was we were able to work with the developer there and situate it in the same tax district as where Schaefer was, because think about it, rural area, that plant goes down, that's a significant portion of their tax base. I think if I remember the number right, it was something like 40% for that school district, something like that, right? So that's a big hit. So we're able to situate this new facility there and help replace that tax base, right? So it's sort of a win-win for the community, a win for us, win for customers. And people are always worried about reliability, like, hey, what about when the wind doesn't blow? Yeah, that's true. It's an intermittent resource. We're pairing some storage with that, some battery storage with that, but also we're going to still have, a significant portion of our portfolio that is sort of very traditional natural gas-based generation that's there, that backs up those renewables, that sort of fills in those peaks and valleys. We think it's just a really good sort of optimized combination for customers over time that gets us an environmental benefit, which is good. It reduces our carbon footprint, it reduces our cost structure over time, but still has that commensurate reliability that is absolutely the very first thing that we always look at.
And it's based on a modern technology use
right.
of energy systems that is a heck of a lot more refined than when that plant was built.
That's exactly right.